Hiya, folks. I'm Grim, and welcome to Grim Grooves. Today we'll be checking out the new 5.3 weekly boss, Lord of Eroded Primal Fire. I know nothing about this other than it's a Genshin song, and I'm all about it. I can't wait to check this out. Genshin boss music is just always so phenomenal, and it's been a long time since I've been able to check out a new one. So this will be fun. But make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you can see all the new content I've got coming out all the time. And without further ado, let's check out the Lord of Eroded Primal Fire boss theme. So ominous already. Such a nice build from the very beginning, like just starting with a choir, which always is very ominous in boss fights, and then you get those big kind of sting hits of percussion kind of thing coming in, and now we're getting the string section, and it's just a very nice build for what's to come. And again, I have no idea yet, but I'm excited to find out. Nice. For me, this is reminiscent of like early Final Fantasy music, like just really epic, really intense. Like the use of strings and everything like that. It just gives me that vibe of like early Final Fantasy, but it's really intense already. And again, I don't know if the lyrics are accurate to the actual. I'm assuming Latin probably that they're singing in, but regardless, it's still really cool so far, and just building really nicely to this crazy epic boss theme. Really cool though. Absolutely beautiful singing here from the choir in the back there. Like they're really good. The male singers were doing fantastic before, and now this female singer is also doing fantastic. Or there could be multiple. It's hard to say with a choir, like because one person with a modified voice can do multiple people kind of thing or whatever. But knowing Hoyoverse and Genshin and everything, there probably is just a whole choir because they tend to do everything orchestral, which is really cool. And just so many different little elements coming in and out. And again, reminiscent of early Final Fantasy, where like there's some flute elements that come in and like kind of swirl around, and do a little kind of lilting melody there, and then just kind of disappear, and they just work in different elements here and there. It's very orchestral, like they're showing their chops when it comes to the different elements that they can build in to this melody. And I'm curious to see where like it's still really building, and I'm sure it'll build even crazier going forward. But I don't know where it's gonna go. You just notice he has a sword. That's cool. Two swords, damn. This is a fantastic build. I was hoping they would come to the drop earlier, and they definitely did. And they've just kind of built it ever since then. Like, it just keeps building up and just adding so many different elements. Like, we got that kind of big kind of synth hit like we did near the beginning of the song, and now they've worked into the main melody, which is like that big, heavy synth hits. I'm assuming it's synth again. I could be wrong. I believe there's an organ in there too. There's some horns and everything. Like, there's so many different elements now building into this huge melody. And also, we've now got the choirs working together, both the female and male choirs, and they're doing like layered vocals, which are always really cool, especially when they're done well like this, like almost like a call and response where the male singer will sing a line and then the female singer comes in over top of the end of the male singer's line, and they just kind of harmonize together as the rest of the music's just building and getting more and more intense. This is what I was waiting for. Also, before I get too far away from it, the like marching drum kind of style of percussion, it's very military style, but it works really well here with the backing of everything else. Really, really cool. Strings. I think I saw that this is a Archon Quest exclusive element, part of the song, part of the theme. Guitar. Damn. Doing it in the theme of Natlan. That's really cool. Like the main theme, I forget the name of it. It was the song that was like the first one I believe they did in the orchestral arrangement of the Natlan music. I still can't wait for their 2014 concert to come out, but this is really fantastic. The electric guitar just is an excellent backing track to all of this. I don't know what's happening for the fight sequence there with showing all the characters and everything. Really cool though, showing Mavuika and the Traveler with this giant flaming sword and everything. Again, I don't know the context yet or anything like that, but this is still just a fantastic track so far. curious if this song, like the choir, is done in Swahili. That would be really interesting because I've never really heard a choir like this harmonizing in Swahili. Like the again Natlan theme, there was definitely different elements there, but I don't know that there was like a choir like this. And again, I don't know if they would go with Latin or if they would go with like Swahili because it's Natlan and stuff like that. But regardless, it sounds fantastic. Like it's an excellent choir in the back there, and then there's just the heavy percussion, like the just fantastic drums, and then you got that fantastic electric guitar melody going on there too, just building and building. It's really cool. It's violin edition. That guitar really reminds me of like Pokemon music, actually. Not that there's a ton of guitar in Pokemon, but like the modifications on it, and it's like a skater or a like rocker or like a skateboarder theme kind of like it's the type of guitar, like the type of electric guitar melody and like type of modifications on it that you typically hear in like skater music and Pokemon music, I guess. Like, except if it was like synth. I don't know. Maybe I have no idea what we're talking about. This is just crazy. But let's keep going. Fantastic build near the end there. Again, I don't know if it's going to crescendo again, but regardless, like if that was the end, if that was just like the last big blow, it was really, really good. Like I actually want to go back and get a little bit more of that again. Such a good build. Tempo pickup. Bass kicks up. You always gotta have that final ba-bum. But that was really fantastic. Like, it wasn't as layered or as diverse as the first part, but it still kept building and changing things up and keeping things interesting. Like, even though there was only, like, again, 5 or 6 different elements to this, whereas the first part of the song, the first phase, I think, was, like, probably 10 or 15 different instruments or something like that. Just so many different layers and different interesting elements just working in and out. Whereas the second one was mostly just electric guitar, a little bit of violin there in certain elements, certain parts, and then the percussion, of course, like the drums and everything, which it was fantastic. Again, the choir also did a fantastic job here. Like, I think the choir in this part of the song was a little better than it was in the original, or like the first phase, I guess. Obviously different choirs and everything like that, but it was just a lot more pronounced in this second phase. and it worked really, really well. Like, it definitely had a different feel to it a little bit more invigorating, a little bit more energetic, but they were both really fantastic songs. Like, again, it's been a long time since I've heard a new Genshin boss fight theme or whatever, but they absolutely killed it with this one in both phases, honestly. Like, I think, like I said, I think I'd prefer the first phase. Like, if I was going to choose which one I liked more, it would definitely be the first phase. But the second phase has a lot to like too. Again, bringing back that kind of leitmotif from the Notlon main theme makes sense again. Just especially if this is a story quest and something epic's going on, which it definitely seems like it is, based on the fact that they're both kind of holding this giant flaming sword. But really unique though, really well done. Like, even for Genshin standards, like, there's definitely elements of other kind of games and different kind of music from games. Like I said, early Final Fantasy, I got the feeling of maybe Pokemon a little bit with the guitar in this one. Like, especially the newer Pokemon games, they use a little bit more guitar in their music, obviously, than the old Game Boy ones that are a lot more chiptune focused. But the melodies are still kind of similar, even there. Like, the way that the guitar melodies were structured is kind of reminiscent of kind of just the way that Pokemon tends to do it, which again is very heavily like classically inspired. Like, there's all kinds of videos on YouTube you can check out where people are like showing off to a expert in like Mozart or Beethoven or something like that, and they're like, is this Pokemon or is this Mozart? It's really interesting to see, because a lot of the time they get it wrong, because there's just so many classical influences that these different composers build off of, because of course they are the ones who created a lot of these basic core elements. Even back in the day with Koji Kondo and other classic composers for video games, like, they got their start because of a lot of the, like, their appreciation for the classics, the classic composers, like, again, Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, like, all these fantastic musicians that just set the stage for what our music is now. And you can definitely see some elements of that in this music, like the way it's structured and everything like that. But they also keep things interesting and keep things fresh by doing new things that haven't really been done before, or structuring them in ways that are new, even though there might be elements that are similar. There's enough that's new and interesting that kind of keeps you drawn in, keeps shifting things up. Like, there was a lot of really fantastic kind of guitar solos in this, which I don't think you really hear all that often in Genshin music, at least not to my knowledge, that I can remember anyways. I don't remember a lot of crazy kind of guitar solo sections. But there's a lot of interesting flourishes here with the guitar, and then like the flutes coming in for certain moments and things like that really worked well too, and different elements being worked in and out just to keep things moving, keep things fresh. And once again, the choir themselves were also fantastic. Like, both the lyrics that they were singing about, very like empowering and very, again, energetic, helping with the boss fight, like keeping you amped up and ready to fight more. And kind of that resolve is like built into the music, like that resignation that like you can make it through this, you have the power, you have the strength, you have your friends beside you, now let's do this. That's like what I get from the second phase, the feeling I get from the second phase. But yeah, this was an excellent track. Like, it was really, really well done, and I just can't wait to hear more from Genshin, like, especially for boss fights and things like that, because they're always so good, they're so well done. But all the music from Genshin is fantastic, as I've shown by doing so many different songs. They're all just so fantastic. But anyways, thanks for hanging out, watching my reaction. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, because I got so much more coming. And until next time, later days, folks.